Hi everybody, Michael Berge with Digiday, back here at Possible, day 2 in the afternoon, and I'm happy to have a conversation with Aiden Darné, who's the head of Shutterstock Studios, global head, right?
Global.
You're a global man.
Yes, indeed.
Where are you from originally? What's your accent?
From the UK, but lived in America, in New York for like 13 years, so a while.
So we've corrupted your nice English accent.
Yeah, it's the only thing I've kept. I've seen the benefit of the accent, so I've embraced it still.
Americans love British
it.
accents.
Love it.
Like immediately you're like 20% more intelligent than everybody else.
Exactly. Higher IQ.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Let's start off with, we're here at Possible. What is it that you're looking to learn here at Possible, and what message are you here to tell the people that you're meeting with?
Yeah, amazing. Well, within the business of Shutterstock, we do so much. And we're very well known for being a stock provider, but we do so many other things as well. So a big part of it is definitely going to be going out and in meeting our clients and embracing, obviously, all of the conversations around AI and generative technology, which we're at the heart of in a lot of ways. And so we've got our VIP lounge. We've got a wonderful sponsorship here. So it's been great so far. Lovely to meet lots of clients. But the biggest thing really is to kind of be at the forefront of, we describe this generative AI boom as there's going to be some heroes and zeros. The perception is that Shutterstock will be on the zero side, in that, it's going to probably eat up a lot of the stock content business.
Yeah.
But we're here to really be very proud around the other things that we're doing to actually elevate and embrace all things AI.
I'm surprised to hear you say that the perception is that you'd be on the zero side. So go in a little bit more depth about how generative AI is impacting your business and basically the content that you put out.
Well, the kind of lowest hanging fruit, the most obvious thing is that text to image exploded overnight and changed everything for photography and for commercial photography and advertising, absolutely. So for us, as our core business being a stock photo provider and the majority of our revenue and usage of our content is photography, the perception, I believe, was going to be, wow, this is going to really
put you out of business.
Absolutely. So
how have you turned that around?
Well, we've acknowledged that kind of task and headwind. We now have within the business a kind of our core business, which is our content business, which is the stock side of the business. And then what we've had on the other side of the equation is our growth engines. So we acquired Giphy recently.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Our studio business, which I head up, which I can talk through. And of course our data business as well. So overnight, we became a very lucrative data provider for very large technology companies to pay us between $25 to $50 million a deal for our metadata that's assigned to each image. We have 800 images for computer learning. It's all copywritten, cleared for commercial usage. So rather than a large tech company going to go and scrape the internet for their computer learning with images that's not that's going to create copyright infringement, that was a very different proposition for us now as a business to go to market providing all of that data.
So how did you come to that? Because it's not readily evident to me that like data would be a part of this, and yet everything you just described sounds like, oh yeah, duh. So how'd you guys get there?
Each image has upwards of about 140 bits of metadata.
Yeah.
It's a lot of data for 800 million images. So then, of course, it's all cleared. It's licensed. We also have a contributor fund, so that the contributor that shot the image, if that image is being bought for computer learning, gets paid as well.
Yep.
So an obvious business approach for us, right? In that we could then go to market to sell the data side. And also on the other side of the business, I run the studio part of the business.
And we'll talk about that next, I promise.
Yes, yeah, no, but it's all related. So we specialize in 3D content, 3D production, 3D strategy. So we work with very large marketers to develop a 3D strategy. So that can actually completely change how brands are creating and producing global content for their global content calendar. And as part of that, we launched the very first text to 3D platform. Wow. So that launched a week ago in partnership with NVIDIA. So if on the platform you can go and write table or flowers, and it would create a perfect 3D rendering of that text. So then you can go and use that in an out-of-home campaign, or you can use it in a TV commercial or whatever you like. And so we use that as a way to be faster, more creative, more cost efficient in all of the 3D production that we do. So all of the content side of the business is obviously still doing fine, but we worked very kind of, I suppose, intentionally to create and carve out the growth sides of the business.
Yeah.
Just because we obviously acknowledge Wall Street probably sees Shutterstock perhaps as a zero out of the heroes, but we have actually a whole side of the business that is growing because of advancements
Because
in
of
AI.
all these opportunities there.
Exactly.
How do you deal with either watermarking or safeguarding your content so that when it is purchased somewhere, it doesn't get into the wrong hands and start getting manipulated? That may not be your specialty, but what does Shutterstock do to kind of safeguard in the age of AI when so much can be manipulated?
Yeah, and that's an incredibly important point. Not just manipulated, but to ensure that there's enough representation and diversity in the content that we are putting forward. And that's, again, the richness of all of the content that we have to ensure that it's not generic white people in every kind of search in text-to-image or text-to-3D or text-to-video even. So we've been really at the forefront to make sure that we're creating ethical AI is what we've been kind of framing it.
Yeah.
And absolutely to the extent of manipulation. I mean, that's going to be, as you mentioned earlier, so important this year. The verified, validated image, or at least to have a tag to be able to acknowledge this is created by AI versus kind of traditionally shot. But no, we're at the forefront of ensuring that all of that content is ethical and definitely ensuring that our contributors are getting paid as well. The photographers that are making the content that's being used for the machine learning.
Wow. Sounds like you have a very busy job.
Busy job.
Well, thank you very much for your
worries.
time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Cheers.
it. Thank you.